Joining us now is author Terence Hawkins. Welcome to the show, Terence. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Now you're known, is it for three books that you have? Because I have two of them in front of me.
Yes.
Okay. So the two I have in front of me are uh Turing's Graveyard Stories and The
Hmm.
Rage of Achilles.
Yes.
Okay, and there's
The
another
third
one,
is American Neolithic.
American Neolithic. Growing up in a coal mining family in Pittsburgh, correct? No, Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania? What
Outside
part?
Pittsburgh.
Outside of Pittsburgh. I just
Yes.
came back from Pittsburgh. I had the time of my life. I went to DeLuca's for breakfast. I went to all the museums. I had a delightful time. And I even got to go to the uh, to the Pittsburgh Museum, which is voted second best in the whole world. And I got to go on Fred Rogers' set. I loved
Oh,
it.
that's wonderful.
I cried like a baby. That museum
I'm
is
sure.
so phenomenal. It has so much rich history, like how the Ferris wheel was invented and all of those things, and Carnegie Mellon and how that all came about. Here you are, you're growing up, and what made you decide that you wanted to do so well in school that you eventually went to Yale? That's a fascinating story.
Well, to some extent, it was inadvertent. um, I, I was always a bookish kid. Um, I have to say that I give a lot of the credit to the Educational Testing Service. When given four choices or five choices, whatever it is, A through E, I can generally pick the right one, and that worked out for me quite well.
Now, I don't think that you once you got there though, you had to do well, right? I know that that might have gotten you in the door, but once you're in the door, it's what you do with that education that makes a difference. So obviously, you're good at the written word. So this one is called The Rage of Achilles, right? So tell us about your
Yes.
process for writing.
Well, the background of the book is actually uh, quite interesting because it started out as a blunder, I'd have to say. Um, what had happened is I took my first attempt at a novel to a writing workshop in Tribeca in Manhattan, and the book was savaged so badly, or rather, the chapter I read was savaged so badly by the other people there that I asked the cab driver if he could find a bar that sold morphine, something to kill the pain. Um, so for a couple of weeks, I thought, you know what, I'm never going to write again. This is it. But as it happened, I saw Saving Private Ryan for the first time, and as it happened, at the same time, I had been reading a translation of the Iliad that happened to have on its cover uh, some of the landing craft from D-Day.
Uh-oh.
So I started to wonder how the Iliad would look if it had been told with the same kind of realism as Saving Private Ryan. And so I tried a chapter of it and it seemed to work. So I just kept going.
And Turing's Graveyard. It's a collection of stories. So tell us
Yes.
about this journey.
Well, it it's a short story collection. So the stories span, I would say, something like 10 or 15 years. Um, the the title story is about uploaded personalities and artificial intelligence. And I won't pretend that I anticipated either. Those are ideas that have been actually kicking around in science fiction since the 1950s and just now are becoming realized or on the horizon of our reality. Um, so the title of Turing's Graveyard actually comes from Alan Turing, who was the father of modern computing, who posed a challenge, and that is if if a computer can convince a human being that it is another human being, does it make a difference? That is, does it make a difference that it's really a computer? And so that's sort of the point of departure for the whole story. But the story itself is also a ghost story, uh,
And perfect
sort of.
timing since we're that close to like the end of October when people are
Yeah.
wanting
Oh,
to
yes.
get a little
Excellent point
spooky.
there.
So this
Yeah.
is kind of fun. So this is a fun read. So it's fiction for people who like to think. And I
Yes,
certainly like to be a deep thinker myself. So Terrence, so now are you running workshops for other, young writers that want to learn how to write as well?
I am. I actually, at this very at this time, I am running a workshop at my local library just on a volunteer basis, and I also work with Visible Ink at Memorial Sloan Kettering, which is a creative writing program for cancer survivors. Um, I find that really very gratifying. But I also run through an organization called the Company of Writers, um, workshops and commercial editing services for writers at every stage of their careers.
I have been involved with a collection of stories in a book called Manifesting Your Dreams, and now we're doing the second one. But eventually, I too would love to be a writer. I would love, congratulations, to have your name on a book is like, it must be so gratifying, that you could go to the bookshelf and there you are, Terence Hawkins. Must be such
It
a
really is,
nice
especially when
feeling.
I find it at random.
Yeah. You're like, I used to go to the bookstore, Terrence, and I used to like figure out where my book would be, and I would like leave a little space. Like, my last name's Drake, and it's very close to Wayne Dwyer's. So I used to like kind of like shift his over just a little bit and envision that space of where my book's going to be someday. But
I'm just to the right of
congratulations.
Paula Hawkins
Oh, there you go. We all know where we fit in, right? I
and to the left of
congratulate you.
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
I congratulate you and continued success on the journey. Keep writing. I think it's wonderful for people to be able to, it's almost like therapy to be able to either read a book or to write a book. It's very cathartic. So thank you so much for taking your time to be here with us today and continued success to you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Terrence. Happy journeys to you. Be well.
You too. Take care.
I'm going to read this one, especially because it's like spooky time. Woo!
What's been compared to the Twilight Zone, and
Ah,
not just by me. Yeah.
congratulations. Be well.
As a child of the 60s, you can imagine how much that thrilled me.
Absolutely. Billy Monday out in the cornfields, right? So,
Right.
thank you very
Exactly.
much. Take care. Bye, Terrence.
Thank you.